It was like the resurrection day. The first raids on this district started from that day, following by many others.
I was in the door when they shot 4 or 5 times and targeted him. When the plane's flight stopped a little bit, there was a knock on our door.
The first time which my brother was martyred, my father was injured. He entered to a mosque.
It was the henna night. The raid came and started bombardment first. I was entering every room in the house and took the women and children into the basement.
When we came back home, we saw that the children were lying everywhere. Some were lying here, some were lying there. There was one of my nephews, his head was cut off.
A documentary film about the atrocities and horrors committed by the occupiers and their supporters in the Charkh district of Logar province. School. A place to acquire knowledge. The place of education and acquisition. The home of future makers. But the oppression and terror of the occupiers over the past 20 years have cast such a dark cloud over our compatriots that it has prevented even the students and young people of Afghanistan's future from studying and learning. The learning environment has become so difficult that families were forced to prevent their children from going to school out of fear for their lives. The American occupiers, contrary to all human laws that emphasize the safety of public facilities, built their military bases near high school, putting the students of this school under the direct threat of war and destruction.
During the past 20 years, this high school and the entire district went through very dark and difficult times. For 20 years, the occupation was by the Jewish and American forces. This school was completely under occupation. As you can see, this building was completely occupied, and that front building you see was also under occupation. The people of this district were in very bad conditions. Even the lands around this district were dry, and school students could not come easily. The atmosphere around the district was very scary for the people.
They were shooting mortars in the schoolyard, firing from the district, they were hitting the classrooms, they were destroyed, the students were coming on the way, they were hit under the district, they were hit above the district, they were going to their homes. They were martyred.
The teachers and students of this high school have bitter memories of the 20 years of occupation. They recall the difficult days of rocket fire, when they had to take refuge in the corridors and wait for hours until the occupation's rocket fire ended, in order to be safe and save the lives of the students. Fazl Nabi, the principal of this high school, tells us about the martyrdom of his students at this school, including how one of his students, Shujaddin, was martyred on his way to school.
They were shooting mortars in the schoolyard, firing from the district. They were hitting the classrooms, which were destroyed. The students were on their way to school, and some were hit below the district. while others were hit above the district. As they were heading home, they were martyred.
At the time, there was war here. We studied here, and sometimes, until 2 p.m., the students were imprisoned because of the fighting during the teaching hours. When there was war, we would gather all the students into one class. They would stay there until the fighting stopped, and then we would let everyone go.
Eight to 10 students were martyred, and many others were wounded.
Some of our students were martyred here as a result of the aggression by the occupiers. This includes Mr. Shamal, whose son was a student here, and another high school employee named Dusti, who was also martyred. Gulabadin, a high school servant, was martyred as well, and his son was also martyred.
How bitter it is to lose a child, especially on the path to acquiring knowledge. Shamaluddin, who himself served as a janitor at high school, talks about the aspirations of his son Shujaddin and how his son was martyred on the way to school.
My son was in the 4th grade, and he was only 12 years old. He had a lot of lessons on his mind, and he worked very hard at his studies. He would go home and study. I would tell him, "Don't you have anything else to do?" He would reply, "No, father, let me study because I don't want to fail." He had passed his exams after 4.5 months. He said, "Father, I'm going to the 5th grade." He wanted to study, to become a teacher, an engineer, or even a doctor. He had a strong desire to study. May Allah bless him with the words of the martyrs. At home, I told him not to come with me, but he insisted on coming. One day, in 2019, it was 20 minutes to 8 when we were on our way. My son was targeted from the mountain near the Army Corps. It is known to Allah whether the target was meant for me or my son. The bullet hit my son, and he fell. I held him in my arms so they wouldn't shoot again from the mountain. I saw that a bullet had gone through his back and out of his eye. The soldiers of the army called me, asking to treat him. I told them, "May you die in the punishment of Allah, there's no chance left for his treatment." I stayed by his side as he breathed his last breath. Then, I went to the soldiers at the camp and told them, "May you be in the punishment of Allah. Didn't you see the school bag on his back when you shot him?" They said they didn't shoot him, it came from the mountain. I got angry and said many things to them. May Allah never bring such a situation on anyone, it was a very bad experience. I wish he were alive now. He would be in class 9. His classmates are now in class 9. I see his friends now, and I wish he were alive to be in class 10. He would be 11, 12, but he was martyred. May Allah accept his martyrdom.
We were in class 4 or 5. Shujaddin was in our class. When he was coming to school in the morning, he was martyred on the side of the school. He was coming to school. He was martyred on the way. He was a worthy boy. He wanted to become a doctor in the future. Unfortunately, he was martyred and did not achieve his dream. If Shujaddin was alive, he would be with us now in class 9. He was a worthy, smart, and clever boy. Alhamdulillah, with the arrival of the Islamic Emirate, not only in this high school but throughout Afghanistan, there is now a safe atmosphere. The entire Afghan nation is happy in their work and able to perform their duties.
Alhamdulillah, the Islamic Emirate has come, the war is over, and the number of students in our school has increased. There are nearly 15 to 1,600 students.
Now, thanks to Allah, as long as this government is in place, students come very calmly, and we also come with confidence. May Allah sustain this government.
The occupiers, who outwardly claimed to uphold human rights and whose slogan was reconstruction and development, have left behind a legacy of immense financial and human losses for our fellow countrymen over the course of 20 years of occupation. They destroyed the personal property of our people by bombings and bulldozers. Abdul Basir, a resident of this district, shares with us the story of the oppression and the destruction of his home.
The war started from our castle. The Americans were in the area below. When the war began from our castle, helicopters came here, and the American forces were shooting from the area below. The Americans came and destroyed our houses with bulldozers. They worked for 3 nights and destroyed the castle. They couldn't destroy it with bombs, so finally, they brought bulldozers to demolish it. They destroyed its towers. One of the towers remains on that side, and the sign is still visible. It was a strong castle. The bullets had no effect on it. The Americans brought bulldozers and destroyed it. We were living in Kabul as migrants, and we were in bad condition. Now we have returned to our house and sleep peacefully. There is no war or fear, and we are very comfortable.
This is the market in this district, bustling with people, some looking for goods to buy and others trying to sell them. However, this market has not been spared from the occupiers' attacks and has witnessed dozens, even hundreds, of incidents. His name is Abdul Quddus, and he is busy working and carrying goods in this market. He has been in this market for years and recalls the difficult days when the war and the occupation forces shelling hindered his work. He also remembers how his young daughter was martyred by the occupation forces' mortar fire.
During a week and 2 days, my shop was sometimes closed and sometimes opened. They even set up a base next to our shop. When the war began, the market was closed, and we shopped secretly. Then we left. The situation at our shop was not good. In an incident, a mortar landed in the market. It hit many houses, and when it fell in front of our shop, I lost my capital. My daughter was martyred, and I was injured. For now, I have a small amount of capital. I took out a loan and arranged rental dishes to work with. My daughter was young, about 10 or 11 years old. Children are beloved to humans, and it's natural for humans to feel emotions. It affects the mental state, and tears follow. We wait for Allah's will, as we have no choice. When we remember her, we find comfort in believing in Allah. Her mother visits the cemetery, and I wipe my tears and leave the house.
Nur Muhammad has been working in this market for years and recalls the atrocities of the U.S., including how his father was arrested in this market and martyred after being imprisoned for 3 days. The cruelty of time and the occupiers, with extreme brutality, led to Nur Muhammad's father's martyrdom after 3 days of torture and abuse. After his martyrdom, they sprayed acid-like chemicals on his body.
I was 7 years old. I was a boy, working as a laborer somewhere. I didn't know. The American forces came to this district. My father had left home. He was trading apricots. They had arrested him in the morning. The Americans had been raiding for almost 7 or 8 days. Everyone was arrested here. No one knew about anyone. My father had left home to go to the market. They had arrested my father in the market. They had imprisoned him for about 2 days. After that, they had beaten him very cruelly with a Kalashnikov. They had done a lot of injustice to him. They had martyred him so cruelly that no one could recognize him. They had smeared medicine on his face. When we heard that our father had been martyred, we came home from work. We saw that his face was really unrecognizable. We saw his shoes, we saw his goods, and from then on, we recognized our father.
The Americans and their allies have made the daily lives of the people in this bazaar full of hardships, repeatedly disturbing its residents, under various pretexts, and they have arresting, tortured, and martyred our innocent people without any evidence.
My father was martyred in this village. He had been going to Ghazni province for 3 or 4 days. He had loaded apricots to take to Ghazni. The Americans came and raided here for 3 to 4 days. They martyred him, and we didn't know until 2 or 3 days later.
The person who was martyred named Noryali. It is said that they had strangled him, then poured acid on him. He was unrecognizable. I recognized him from the boots he wore. He had boots on his feet, and he had big feet.
He was carrying apricots and on his way to Ghazni. The Americans who had been raiding captured my father along with about 40 or 50 other people. Among them, they martyred my father. First, they suffocated him, then they threw a grenade, and after that, they threw acid on him. We were informed after 3 days. The kids were playing soccer and the ball had gone out. They saw him while retrieving the ball and then informed us. It is said that there was a bomb in his body. His friend came and saw there was no bomb, so he removed it. I saw that his boots were still on his feet. He had bought them for Eid. He was recognized by his boots.
He had been killed behind the mosque. Here they martyred him. They had also used medicine on him. They had also shot him with a bullet. The children said that they had also strangled him. 2 days later the children were playing football. They heard that they had seen him. Our hearts were sad for him. His wife was also looking for him. His children were small and there was no one else to look for him. We thought that he had been imprisoned. 2 days later the children were playing football when they saw him. He had fallen and was martyred.
With the grace and help of Almighty Allah, and with the blood of thousands of martyrs and years of struggle against oppression, occupation, and tyranny, the courageous, mujahideen-minded people of Afghanistan were able to defeat the demons of time and the occupiers. Once again, the breeze of freedom has blown through this land, and people can go about their daily affairs with peace of mind.
Praise be to God, our city is safe. Our markets are open from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Before, shops were closed from morning until evening, sometimes until 1 or 2 p.m. Now, praise be to God, it's better. The security is assured.
Now, thank God, it is the grace of Allah. Our shops are open until the morning. Sometimes they are always open until 12 o'clock. Thank God that the Islamic Emirate has come. We are satisfied with our work. Our work has improved.
We are 100% satisfied with the system. Praise be to God, we are content with the system, and no one has any issues with us. We are 100% satisfied.
In these 3 years since the conquest, inshallah, the people have been very safe. The people are very happy. They are very happy with the Islamic Emirate system. People can walk around day and night. It is safe and secure.
Finally, after years of struggle, martyrdom and sacrifice, the plant of freedom and independence has grown, and the long-held ambition of millions of our Afghan countrymen has turned into reality. Long live freedom. Long live Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. You can watch this documentary in English from National Television and its social media pages.